We've got some new rankings. The dust has settled on week 1, and just like that, we're jumping into week 2. A lot of other polls are going to be out there. I want to give you what our rankings are right now. Very important that we say this at the top of the segment. This is not a prediction or a projection of what the college football playoff is going to be. We are purely taking our fingers, putting it on the pulse of what college football is right now. There's some good faith baked into some of these rankings too, but I'm going to give you right now how I see the college football playoff standings being today. Not at the end of week 12, not when everything's done with the season. I mean today, all right? So, with that being said, make sure you're subscribed. We talk college football every single day on the On3 YouTube channel. This is the Hard Count. We are live Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, 11 a.m. Eastern. We got our full top 10 rankings for you coming during Wednesday shows. So that's tomorrow, 11 a.m. Eastern. Thank you in advance for being locked in. All right, let's get right into it. At number 4, we got the Ohio State Buckeyes. Ohio State took care of business against a Power 5 team, an in-conference opponent on the road, breaking a new quarterback. Final score 23-3. They got Youngstown State next. We won't really learn a ton about the Buckeyes until we get to that game week 4 at Notre Dame. Even so, you're encouraged that they won the football game. The eye test leaves a little bit of something to be desired for Kyle McCord and company. I don't know that they're settled at quarterback just yet. If they are, I'm sure Kyle McCord can get you there. For me, I need to see a little bit more juice offensively. This offense is built to score a lot more than 23 points, but it's week 1. Got a lot of faith in what Ryan Day has done in terms of picking and developing quarterbacks, tons of skill positions that are going to be elite, Marvin Harrison Jr. being one of them. The defense did a lot through the portal to kind of retool that side of things. Got a lot of proven production back there with some guys that did some really good things last year. Bottom line, Ohio State, I fully expect to be on a crash course for the games against Penn State and against Michigan to define their season, but you already knew that. Ohio State for us at number 4. Now at number 3, and this is the biggest mover from week 1 into this upcoming week. We all saw what happened on Sunday night in Orlando, right? We all saw Florida State just absolutely take LSU to school. And I don't think we learned a bunch of new things about LSU. Like, we're not sitting here today and saying, man, LSU's so overrated, so overhyped. I'm sitting here saying LSU's a good football team. Florida State just looked like they had the championship medal, if you will. Like, all the hype all offseason about what Florida State had coming back and the way they finished the year, and Jordan Travis and Mike Norvell getting an extension, and for them to come out and play the way they did in that spot with the eyes of the country upon them and to look dominant. And the new pieces to mesh so well. Keon Coleman looked like a first-round draft pick the other night. I'm very encouraged by what I saw from Florida State. They are also on a crash course to meet Clemson week 4 on the road. But the way that Clemson looked last night, you probably have some reservations about what they're going to be this year. It's week 1. We're not overreacting. But for my money, Florida State, a big mover. I have them as the number 3 team in the country. Now they have Southern Miss next. Again, we won't see a ton more challenges for Florida State from a roster standpoint, but even so for us, Florida State, number 3 in this week's rankings. Now at number 2, no surprise here, we got Michigan. They handled business. We wanted them to cover. They didn't, but I don't think they're too worried about that in Ann Arbor. J.J. McCarthy looked dialed in. Roman Wilson dialed in, like really, really strong performance from them against ECU. They have UNLV next. They won't be tested for some time. This is where the good faith is kind of baked in. We know what this team is built of. They have top 5 returning production in the country coming into the season. Tons of talent at the quarterback position. Probably the best running back room in the country. Like, I'm just kind of telling you things that you already know about Michigan. We're in alignment here. I would imagine Michigan, number 2 in the rankings for us this week. If you have them higher, that's your prerogative. I'm excited to see what they do a little bit later in the year, if you catch my drift. Now, at number 1, we talked about good faith. The Georgia Bulldogs are still in come-and-take-it mode. Carson Beck, yeah, it took a second to get rolling, maybe, but, like, it's UT Martin. And that's no disrespect to UT Martin. I'm just saying if we didn't see the offense totally kick it into overdrive against that team, I'm not overly concerned. They still scored 48 points as a team. You got Ball State next. Hey, we wanted to get Oklahoma on the schedule if we're Georgia, but one thing leads to another. The tectonic plate shift, I get it. They get South Carolina the week after Ball State. Curious to see what that one's like. That'll be their first test from a Power 5 foe, from an SEC foe. Georgia has done nothing to be dropped in anybody's rankings. If you want to put Florida State at 1 because of what you saw against LSU, go right ahead. I wouldn't have a huge argument against that. Besides, are we sure we want to take Kirby Smart and company down at all after they're defending national champs, not 1 but 2 years in a row, going for a three-peat? Like, for me, I know too much about Georgia as a program, the way they do things, the talent they have in-house there, to put them anywhere besides number 1. So I understand in a vacuum for this season, maybe your rankings look different. Right now, though, some good faith baked in. These are not predictions. These are not projections. This is where things stand right now with how we feel about these football teams. So those are our top 4. To recap it, Ohio State at 4, Florida State at 3, a big mover this week. Michigan at 2, Georgia at 1 for us in our rankings. Come back tomorrow, 11 a.m. Eastern, right here on the On3 YouTube channel. The Hard Count will be live, and we'll be giving you our top 10 rankings. So kind of walking you through our thought process there for the way things stand right now. And the beautiful thing that is week 2 of the college football season. Make sure you're subscribed. We're talking nothing but ball here on this show, The Hard Count. I'm JD Pickell. We appreciate y'all rolling with us. We're going to keep this party rolling, and we will see y'all next time. Hey, y'all. Thanks so much for watching. Subscribe to the channel here to make sure you don't miss an episode of The Hard Count. Also, be sure to check out other videos on the On3 YouTube channel.